How will the Saints respond to heartbreak yet again? It's the coach. It's the first of two this Monday night on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the New Orleans Saints trying to put the sting of last year's NFC Championship game no call behind them as they play host to a preseason favorite in the AFC South, the Houston Texans. I'll look back to opening weekend at halftime, but now it's off to Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Standing by, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. The setting in this dome just serves to amplify the excitement of the folks in New Orleans as their Saints burst from the tunnel a moment ago. They're set, and we're set as well as the Saints get ready to do battle with the Houston Texans. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, a new season finally here. We had the great one Thursday night. All sorts of intrigue in the games yesterday, and now we put a bow on this first weekend with a good one here tonight.
We do put a spotlight on key games, don't we? Even key nights. Thursday night has become a spotlight night. How about Sunday night? But there still is some magic to playing on Monday night, and these two teams are feeling it.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They're led out by their 6-foot quarterback. You may have heard of him. From Purdue, it's Drew Brees.
And when you think of Drew Brees, you think of production, and you think of competitiveness. That guy competes on every snap. Whether he's throwing it, moving around in the pocket, calling plays, you name it, he knows how to rally a team.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Brees. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Whitney Merciless barreling in for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Brees going to throw. Looking long for Thomas. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. And a look now at the offense for New Orleans.
The steal in the 2017 NFL Draft had to be running back Alvin Kamara out of Tennessee, who ended up being that year's NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Split time with Mark Ingram his first 2 years in the league. With Mark Ingram now in Baltimore, it's his show. And through his first 2 years, almost equal yardage, rushing and receiving. Expect his rushing numbers to take a big leap in 2019. There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the third down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up fourth down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. On the return is Jones. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Texans offense heading out, and it's Deshaun Watson leading the way, the third-year man out of Clemson. Last year, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, but the big number for the Texans, he was sacked a league-high 62 times. They'll try to do better in this one. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Now a first-time Pro Bowler from a year ago, Lamar Miller. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play call to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Give him 9 yards on the 2nd down screen play.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
16 yards on that one, and also a Texan 1st down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down. And now a look at the Saints starting defense.
Linebacker Demario Davis made the move from the New York Jets to the New Orleans Saints before the 2018 season, and that move really paid off for him. Always a terrific player. Now he was able to get to the playoffs for the first time in his NFL career.
That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And here he'll get it down to the 7. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
The stop there on 3rd, they could have held him to 3 on this opening drive. Now they have to go to their necks on 1st and goal.
And if I'm looking at this from the offense's point of view, that's a big-time pickup right there, and I'd go right at him with another momentum play. I'd go quickly and attack him, because right now they probably have their heads down a little bit since they didn't stop him on 3rd down.
This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. From 6 yards away, and the Texans have taken the early lead. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Breeze. He's got a man open. It's Cameron Meredith. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 15 yards on the play. 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Now throwing on 1st down and completing it. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
In his 13th NFL season now, Ted Ginn still a reliable target for Drew Brees. 787 yards in 2017, just 5 games last year due to injuries, but he still has the wheels.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether it's seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play. I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Here's Watson. Steps away to his left. He can run for it, and he will. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to fourth down.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's third down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but it does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. To throw, it's Brees. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. He was trying to get it that time to Ted Ginn, but it's going to be second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Well, they get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4. Working from the gun, it's Brees. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. An effective 10 yards there takes us back to first down.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot, and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. Oh, hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. From midfield, here's Brees. It's brought in right side by Ginn. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job.
This not the final game of this opening weekend. Still one more, and that comes your way later tonight out in Oakland. The Denver Broncos and Vic Fangio's coaching debut taking on the Oakland Raiders, the final home opener for the Silver and Black in the East Bay. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels. But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Dancing to his left. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. The Texans send the punter out as he'll punt it away for the second time. Spinning away. 51 yards on the punt there. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run it here. This is Buck Allen. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Up to make the stop, the Texans' leading tackler a year ago, Zach Cunningham.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage, because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Breeze now on 1st down. Throw left side, taken in by Meredith. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll hand things off to the coach, Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have a look back at a very intriguing opening weekend in the NFL. And he's got it. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. From 3 yards out, and the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
The big fella was the recipient there for that touchdown pass, and it seems like more and more the tight end is the guy you have to worry about most in the passing game.
Lutz with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. Cameron Jordan wreaking havoc with a sack.
Now that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this Be Who You Are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
Meanwhile, here's a shot for the end zone right away, but it's incomplete. They run it for the first time with a backup Murray. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. Way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
They pass up the 3, fake it, it doesn't work. And this Texans defense stands tall. Well, I see what they were trying to do there. You pop up your holder, roll them out. You got the option to run or pass. This didn't work.
Not at all. The communication was excellent defensively to make sure that receivers were covered as they escaped from the line of scrimmage, because that's supposed to be a surprise to everyone, and that's how they get free. People forget their assignments on defense. That didn't happen. And think about the guy rolling out with the football, looking for an open person, no one there.
Helpless, really.
Helpless, because that gap between you and defenders now is going to close, and close quickly.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. Over the middle, that's caught by Miller. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Now a 1st down throw. Watson is going to fire one deep over the middle. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the 1st half. A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up 1st and 10. So after the INT, it's Breeze. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the 1st half. After the interception, here's Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the 1st half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the 2nd half. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the 1st half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the 1st half.
Let's see if they do just that. Call it no gain on the dump-off, and it's 3rd down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
Well, if you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal. Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Bernardrick McKinney muscled his way in for the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one's maybe...
And the pressure gets to him again. Whitney merciless, his second sack of the night.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 15. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is third down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
There was the pressure you were talking about, force the incompletion.
And it doesn't always have to end in a sack, does it? Sometimes you can make a good play by force.
Now the defense loses him. It's complete. Touchdown, Houston. Kiki QT, 71 yards. And the Texans will extend their lead. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play, and just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. It's good to make it 17-7. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. J.J. Watt, the one that gets him down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him,
rush coming, and he's taken down.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire.
And that's caught inside the 35. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 44 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front seven? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
You ready?
Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the third quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
12 yards there and a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Cameron Jordan able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded...
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Cameron Jordan in there to get him yet again. That is his third sack tonight. They can't figure him out.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Let's go, let's go!
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Here's Breeze to throw. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to lead to a third down. Again, they'll throw with Breeze. That's complete to Meredith. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards on the play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Now Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas, 27 yards. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And a look now at Lamar Miller. And as we peer at the numbers, he got off to a struggling start, but since then really found his rhythm.
And I think that comes together with not just the halftime adjustments, but just that quiet confidence. If you just keep doing the things you've been working on, eventually there will be creases. You know, find those gaps in the defense, keep working on them, and maybe what didn't happen very well for you in the beginning of the game, it starts to open up as the game moves on.
They'll run it again with Miller. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. A first down carry now for Miller. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs, but the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. A shotgun handoff now to Miller. But he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they manage the clock exactly right.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So Breeze and the Saints down 20-17, 1:09 to play. This is only week 1 of the season, folks. Get strapped in as they come up here 1st and 10. Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy. The drive starts with a completion left side. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Completes this one to Meredith. That one good for 16 as the drive continues. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
They'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. Looking to go back to Thomas again, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football. It didn't check off every box, but the most important one, got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. They may be a little short of the first down, but I thought that was the key.
Gets it to Meredith, complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Back to throw. This is caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Alvin Kamara with 2 ticks remaining. And once again, the Saints are back out in front.
So for those of little faith, guess what? It got done. They now have the lead with that touchdown this late in the contest. I wonder if that was a play they were holding or a play that they just knew would work from past experience.
Well, I just saw it in their eyes on the sideline before starting that last drive, and they did. You're right. They got it done. Looks like they're going to be the winners. This one taken from the 7. One last throw here for Watson. Buying time to his left. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And partner, I must say, good to see you again. Been too long. And it's good to have football back, isn't it?
Didn't you see me in preseason? Weren't we together in preseason?
Yeah, but preseason, you know, it's preseason.